Hey guys, I don't know if you guys seen my video of the damage after the last Hornet race, but I ended up removing the whole subframe from under the car, which wasn't terrible because there's two bolts, if you can see, that hold this rack on. Okay, so you got your upper bolt and there's a lower bolt. Well, see, the lower bolt is stuck in there because what happened was inside the subframe is a tack welded nut. Ooh, let's see if you can see. If I can do it without breaking my hand. The tack welded nut. Hold on, let me put the camera down. But there's a tack welded nut on the inside. And that seemed to have spun loose. Or the weld broke on it. And I cut it with my grinder, my cutoff wheel. And if you look, you can see it's like, it's got a skeleton on the inside too, but check it out. If you look, let's see. See, that nut is just in there spinning and doing nothing. I thought there was a spot you could kind of see where it broke, but anyway, so there's a nut in there, and I'm gonna have to re-tack and try to get probably a lot better few tacks on it if I can. I just did this little piece for now just to make sure I was in the right vicinity of that bolt. Looks like I made it pretty much. So we'll try to do that and then see if I can't get it fixed and put back together. And if you guys have any questions or anything, comments, jokes, let me know. What up, guys? So I was out here messing with this again. So here is the subframe itself. I did take the rack off of it. I was able to get that bolt out, as I was talking about. Just welded that nut back in there, which is a heck of a weld, but it'll hold it. It held it to pull the bolt out, and then I cut the smallest bit out of it as I could, so when I weld it back together, it's not so much. But all in all, I got to weld that back. And let's see, if you look over here, the rack bolts in this area, and this was the bracket that was broke, and you can see where the welds broke. So that'll be easy enough to put back together, and I'll weld it more than this, and I'll weld it on the bottom too, as much as I can get. So that'll go there. There's a bar that runs here from these two bolts to these two bolts. You have to take out to get the rack and pinion out. And here's the rack. So if you're ever wanting to do a power steering delete, this does work. I've done it on a street car and obviously this race car, Hornet car. So what you do is, if you don't want power steering, it's pretty easy. It's very inexpensive. So some hose clamps, some fuel line. Looks like I use 3/8 fuel line, and the only big cost is probably that little filter. But tee them together, okay? Bring them up. You know, I've got a barb in here, so it'll fit that filter. And before you put the filter on, have it in the car. Pour power steering fluid inside the hose, and turn the wheel left or right as you have the car jacked up. And fluid will shoot out the top of the hose. You'll know when it's stopped shooting fluid, it's good. Then you cap it with your vent, and then I've never had any issues with it, at least with the power rack. Since this isn't a manual rack, it at least keeps fluid in there, and it makes it easier to turn than if you just capped it off with no vent. I did this on a turboed Civic hatch that I had, and it worked great because somehow the car came with a manual rack factory, but I didn't have one, so we made it work as it was. So racing season's over pretty much for me, even though I could probably just leave this, but I didn't want to leave it. I'm impatient. It won't take me that long to get everything back together. What's up, guys? I just wanted to do the last video on this. Yesterday I was able to get it all welded up and should be good to go. I already painted it, so make the welds look even a little bit better. But so there we go. Welded that. Welded it on the front. Some welds here, welds down the side. It's not going anywhere. Not at all. Let's see on the bottom if I can get it flipped over here. I welded it back, and it looks pretty good this way, I think. I mean, I didn't grind the welds totally, but I was able just to weld it back together, and it's ready to go. I put Loctite on this bolt and that bolt. So we'll see if that will keep it from coming apart again. It should be. Yeah, that's what I got.